guys, welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers, and today we're gonna see this beautiful looking and not a tiny rocket, but yes, it's a beautiful looking rocket going to space, carrying 3 satellites to the orbit. And this is not a tiny rocket, but the capabilities are of the small sat launcher, but still the the features, the things which this rocket brings into the table is revolutionary. We'll talk about everything in details, and welcome back to the stream, guys. After so long, we are here to witness these launches. And yes, hi Jason, hi Richard, hi Satyanarayan, and yes, David, I did see the B7 test fire. Oh boy, that was something. And welcome, Baba Yada. How are you? To be honest, this paint job is kind of good, but I like the previous one. And oh, your birthday. Happy birthday, Baba Yada, and hopefully you get your gift this time, you know by having a successful launch of this rocket in front of you. Okay, so let's just go deep into it and understand the concepts. uh, Personally, this is an unpopular opinion, but I like the previous paint job. That those red stripes, whatever you want to say, looked good. But I did like this one also. It is not so bad. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so talking about this rocket's technical specs. So first of all, you can see there is this fins which are attached in here. So these fins do not move, so they are not actuated. And this stage has gimbal in it, so it can steer in itself when it launches. So it has, first of all, the 4 stages. So first stage, then we have the second stage, third stage, and the fourth stage inside the fairing. So the first, second, third, all of them are the solid rocket engines. The solid rocket engines, uh, and this is one of the reasons why this rocket is very cheap, because it does not have liquid fuel engines. Therefore, it is easier to make, easier to handle, cheaper to make, and the turnaround time is also very quick. Although reusability, you can just forget about the reusability aspect, but if you don't consider the reusability, then it's the cheapest rocket which can be made. So yeah, let's just go in deep into the other specs. So this is the first stage. You can see the okay the let's just talk about the payload capability first. So it can take up to 500 kilograms to 500 kilometer planar orbit, which means the low earth orbit. And it can take around 300 kilograms to sun synchronous orbit. So it has actually higher capability than the Electron rocket, but it does the same job in the fraction of the cost, because the Electron rocket cost around $7 million cost per launch. This rocket only cost around $4 million. That's it. And we'll talk about the features, but the first stage is powered by the STPB solid rocket motor, which you can see here. And it produces a maximum thrust of 2496 kilonewton, burn time of 94 seconds. Then the second stage is very small, but still it has a increased burn time of 113 seconds. So you must be wondering, like, the first stage is so big, but still it burns very quickly. The second stage is so small, but it burns so slowly. It all depends on how much thrust you want. See, you can see that the thrust here is almost like lesser than 1/10 of what it got in the first stage. So it all depends on the thrust. So if you want more thrust, the burn time would be less. If you want more burn time, then the thrust would be less. It makes all sense, right? And the third stage again, it's powered by the solid rocket motor SS3, 160 kilonewton of thrust, burn time of 106 seconds. So the fourth stage is a bit different. It's not a solid rocket motor. It's a velocity trimming module. It is powered by 50 Newton bipropellant thrusters with 8 numbers of 50 Newton thrusters for RCS and 8 numbers of 50 Newton axial thrusters for velocity addition. So what this module does is that it helps in fine tuning the orbit. So problem with the solid rocket motors is that um, there is something called a trail of thrust, which means the solid rocket motors does not get fully burned out when it has lost its thrust. So what happens is sometimes most of the times you don't get the optimal amount of delta V that you desire from a solid rocket motor. So there is you can say more margin of error here. So that is the reason why, to reduce that error, we introduce one velocity trimming module which will help in just fine tuning of the orbit. That is why it has such less thrust, because it would just be used for fine tuning the orbit. And you can see the fuel which uses is MMH plus MON3, which is nothing but monomethyl hydrogen and oxides of nitrogen, monoxides of nitrogen. And this is the same fuel which is powered in the by the powered to it is powered by the PS4 engines. Yeah, power. Okay, cool. So this is the rocket. Now let's just jump into the satellite specifications. Okay, how long does it take to get to the space? Well, it only takes 15 minutes, David. So most of the rockets take 15 minutes only. That's the what should I say, that the ETA for the satellites to space. Okay, so the features, let's talk about the features, why this is so hyped. So the features is launch on demand. Why the launch on demand? Because it has the quickest turnaround time. Turnaround time of this rocket is can be as less as 7 days. That's it. In 7 days you can get a rocket fully assembled, and then you can just lift off your rocket, and it only takes around 7 people to do the job, unlike the PSLV, which requires 30 officials. Only 7 people, quick turnaround time, cheaper rate, only $4 million, 500 kilograms to orbit, almost increased small sat capacity to the orbit, and what not. This is a very very cool rocket. I am so much excited for this because it has so much potential, and let's hope this one is successful this time. Previously the SSLV-D1 mission was not successful, unfortunately. It has a problem with the velocity, not velocity trimming module, but during the separation of the second and the third stage, something happened. And let me just tell you like what happened actually. So during the separation of the second and the third stage on the previous mission, uh, there are some inertial sensors which gives the inertial information to the rocket so that it knows where it is going. Okay, and during the separation was not, you can say, so much clean. Because of that, um, a lot of vibrations was induced into the rocket, and which caused the sensors to actually fail. They just went crazy, all the sensors. It's not like only one sensors went, there are like six sensors almost, and six gyros and six accelerometers. So in total 12 sensors which went crazy because of those vibrations. And because of that, there is pre-written code which says that if this sensor goes wrong, then shift to this sensors. this sensor goes wrong, shift to this sensor. When there is also a statement that when all the sensor goes wrong, then just go into mission salvage mode, which is nothing but just follow a predetermined path with no feedback from the sensors, as if the vehicle was flying blindly. So this happened, and such a scenario took place at the second stage separation from the third, and this triggered this salvage mode, which caused the mission to fail. So talking about what they did to correct this, so they took some consideration. So first of all, they swapped out the separation system. They have installed some new separation system now with clamp and springs. They have also changed the rules of how the sensors would be switched over to the next one if one of the sensor is failed, and when to go into mission salvage mode. So they have introduced these new changes into the rocket so that this if this scenario does not appear again. Okay, now, okay, let's move on to the payload. So this is the payload we are talking about, the EOS-06 payload. This one is nothing but, you can say, a replica of ES-02, which was supposed to fly, which actually flew on the SSLV-D1 mission. So this EOS-7 is nothing but the Earth observation satellite. So this is this actually have um, um, two solar arrays which will provide 357 watt of power. Two different sensors would allow for observations in mid wavelength and long wavelength with a resolution of around 6 meters. So this mission, the main objective of this mission is, this satellite is to gather GIS information, which is nothing but geographic information systems, which will help in cartography, regulation of use of coastal land, urban and rural management, and many more like this. Also, they have added two new sensors in this one, unlike in the EOS-02, which is the humidity sensors, sorry, millimeter wave humidity sensor, and spectrum monitoring payload, which are related to the new mission objective which it has. So there is that. Also, you can see there is a cute little satellite here, and one of the satellite will come here, which is not, assembled yet in this picture, but it is obviously sitting on the rocket right now. So this is the AzaadiSAT, and this is the Janus, which you will see here. So this Janus is from US. So all the US people, one of your payload is flying here, and AzaadiSAT, we'll talk about this also. So this is the Janus payload. So this Janus is nothing but it's also a kind of a unique approach to satellite, because they are providing set software. We have a SaaS in software as a service, right? So they are also kind of doing that in satellites. So first of all, they just went from the concept to launch readiness in just about 10 months, which is incredible. And then they also reduced the overall cost of this satellite by 75%, which is itself is amazing. But what it does is, this is a software defined 6U satellite, which is entirely on entire software platform. It was designed and built in just 10 months. So this, what is a software designed platform, what actually it means is that it will provide software as a service to customers. So they have a ground software as a service, so people can host their payloads into the satellite. The company will provide their own software, the ground software to them, and then they can monitor their payloads with the help of that. So this is what they'll do. And yeah, this is all about Janus-1. So the next one is the AzaadiSAT. So this is a very cool satellite. So you can see it is in a fully expanded config to 64U CubeSat, but in fact, in reality, it is just a 8U CubeSat, and it will literally expand in space and become 8 times of its own of its size, so that it can have a 64 U CubeSat. So it's very, very amazing of how they do it. This is the first time, this is the most heaviest satellite and the biggest satellite that the Space Kids India has built. Again, Space Kid India is doing wonders in terms of spreading the education about space and satellites. So again, 750 girls from all over the India participated in making this satellite, and these were the students from the class 8th to class 12th, and 75 schools participated in it. Also, this is a repeat of the AzaadiSAT, which was lost in the SSLV-D1 mission, but this also has this it is supposed to have a selfie camera, but it will not have for now. It will be having for the next generation of the AzaadiSAT. But let me just show you how cool it is. So what will happen during the deployment? Just see, just look at that. How cool is that? So you must be like wondering, why would you even want this? So if you this there, these holes won't be there. This is just demonstration of how the things would work. But what I was saying is, this is kind of a demonstration uh, of increasing the power output to the satellite. So why they are increasing expanding their satellite is to increase their power output, because it will really reveal new solar panels which are actually layered inside, so that it can generate more power. So it will go from around I think around 8 watts of power in its original config to 25 watts straight away. So this is kind of very unique thing. And also they are supposed to they have reduced the overall cost by having I don't know how they did it. I will talk with Rifat and let you know, but they have reduced the overall cost of this satellite by having some ADCS with the help of this expanded config. What I'm trying to say is, when the satellite expands, they are doing something which would not require a costly ADCS, which ADCS is nothing but attitude determination and control system. So they would not need a 100K $100,000 um, system in place, because their whole satellite bus is even cheaper than that. So there's that. And this is the whole team, uh, not the whole team, but the, what should I say, the organizers of the event. So I met this guy Rifat. He's a very cool guy, and very, very knowledgeable person. You can listen to him all day, all night. So there's that. And let's just quickly jump into the um, mission profile. So we'll have a look at that. So talking about the vehicle characteristics, it's around 34 meters long. The diameters of 2 meters. 34 meters is a kind is very long, to be honest, and it is going to 450 kilometers orbit at an inclination of 37 degrees. So it's not going to a polar orbits mode of an what just should I say, ISS orbit. Not exactly ISS, but more of ISS orbit. And it will be launched from the first launch pad, which you can see. The total mass of the satellites is as shown: 156 for EOS. Janus is 10.2, AzaadiSAT is 8.7 kilograms. And this is how the mission profile would look like. So SS1 ignition will happen on ground, then the SS2 ignition will happen before the SS1 separation, but only millisecond difference, but there is that. And then the stage 2 separation will happen, which you can see, S2C separation. SS2 SPLF, which is nothing but the um, uh, these the fairings. Then the SS2 separation will happen, SS3 separation, ignition and separation, VTM ignition, and then all those. Obviously this VTM will uh, not separate, but will burn out, or whatever the mission profile they have imagined. and then all the satellites will separate as they should. So this the first mission profile for the first one, mission life for the first main satellite will be around 1 year. The Janus and AzaadiSAT we have already talked about. So this is pretty much about the mission. So let me see if we have the. All right, we have the live stream, guys. So there you go, guys. We have the rocket standing on the launch pad. Wow, just look at that.
वायुगतिक क्षेत्र में सभी चरणों के संतोषजनक निष्पादन प्रदर्शित कर चुका है, फिर भी कुछ त्रुटियों को भी उजागर किया है।
There you go. Rifat is there. Space Kids India. CEO is also there.
तैयार है।
Hey, Aravel, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you so much for that 530. It really helps me, dude. This is just a passion project of mine and really helps when some financial support is given by you. Thank you so much.
स्थापित किया जाना है। इसके साथ यात्री उपग्रह के रूप में यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका के Janus-1 जो कि 22.5 केजी का अंटारेस यूएसए द्वारा निर्मित एक लघु उपग्रह है। इसके साथ आज़ादी अमृत महोत्सव को दर्शाता AzaadiSAT-2 स्पेस किड्स इंडिया द्वारा निर्मित AzaadiSAT-2 उपग्रह है। यह यान 370 केजी के निधभार को 450 किलोमीटर की कक्षा में स्थापित करने की क्षमता का प्रदर्शन करने वाला है। यह मिशन कुल 900 सेकंड का होगा।
And if you are new to the
launch vehicle, SSLV is a 3-stage launch vehicle. The first stage, SS1, has 89.5 tons of HTPP-based propellant. The second stage, SS2, has 7.7 tons, and the third stage, SS3, has 4.5 tons of solid propellant.
Those birds should
the
go away.
The velocity-determining module operating on Earth-storable hyperbolic propellants to add orbit the velocity for the satellite to be injected into the correct orbit. Design drivers of SSLV are low cost, low turnaround time, flexibility in accommodating multiple satellites, launch on demand feasibility, and minimal launch infrastructure requirements.
RSC confirms data from chain 2.
जैसा कि हम पहले बता चुके हैं, उड़ान की उल्टी गिनती करीब 6.5 घंटे पहले शुरू हो चुकी है।
So the launch countdown actually began
अंतरिक्ष यान को पावर ऑन कर उपग्रह सहित सभी तंत्रों की स्वास्थ्य जांच प्रारंभ हो चुकी है। सभी संचार तंत्रों को सुनिश्चित किया जा रहा है। सुपर कैपेसिटर के आवेशन किया गया। एटीसी तथा मौसम विभाग की अनुमति प्राप्त कर ली गई है। अंतिम सुधारों के पश्चात रियल टाइम प्रोग्राम को ऑनबोर्ड कंप्यूटर पर लोड कर दिया जाएगा और यान के ठोस बूस्टर का प्रज्वलन तंत्र को आम किया जाएगा। ऐसी सारी गतिविधियां सुचारू रूप से जारी हैं और संतोषजनक तरीके से पूर्ण की जा रही हैं।
Request all stations change over to channel 2 at T-20 minutes. No confirmation is needed to control.
अब हम कुछ ही देर में ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस जारी करने की प्रक्रिया देखेंगे।
The launch will take place at an azimuth of 135 degrees from the first launch pad.
SHAR 1 and 2 confirms both telemetry carriers normal. Roger.
Apart from the radars and telemetry and tracking station at Sriharikota, the stations at Bangalore, Trivandrum, Port Blair, Singapore and Yataraga will track the flight trajectory and flight events.
ROD Roger.
RSO to ROD, range safety systems are ready for the launch of SSLV-D2 EOS-07
अब हम प्रमोशन से 20 मिनट की
ROD,
दूरी पर
Roger.
CNC to TTC Director.
Minus 20 minutes.
Network confirms readiness to support real-time launch of SSLV-D2. After integration of the launch vehicle, several checks have been carried out to verify
All
the health of the
stations, change over
systems.
to channel 2.
The Launch Authorization Board gives a go-ahead conclusion subject to the satisfactory health of launch vehicle and various other ground-based
Event
systems
139,
and weather.
spacecraft ready and internal battery selection completed.
This is Vehicle Director to Mission Director. All the system parameters of SSLV-D2 launch vehicle are normal and within specification. The launch vehicle is ready for SSLV-D2 EOS-07 mission.
Mission Director Roger.
And they have definitely upgraded their cameras for sure. So just look at that. This is not a tiny rocket. This is a full-fledged rocket, but still, it's not, the PSLV itself is around 44,
Minus 19 minutes.
what's this height? I'll tell you, but this is not as tiny as Electron rocket, although the capabilities are similar, but it's not tiny because it's all solid, and solid rockets are not very much efficient, so they need to put in more fuel as well as thrust for it to become feasible.
Range is ready for SSLV-D2 EOS-07 launch.
Mission Director Roger.
You don't want birds, you should not be there.
stations and network.
I don't like. Actually, this has happened so many times. That area is kind of a natural. Basically, there are so many trees and everything around. So birds are always in sight. I hope they just fly away before the launch.
Vehicle Director,
Minus 18
Range
minutes.
Director, TTC and Spacecraft Director has given.
This is Mission Director. Mission Readiness Review Committee and Launch Authorization Board have already given required clearance for proceeding with the countdown and launch of SSLV-D2 EOS-07 mission. All operation in the countdown sequence up to automatic launch sequence have been completed satisfactorily. Based on the clearance obtained from the launch vehicle, spacecraft, range and distract network station, and prevailing favorable weather condition, Mission Director hereby authorized to initiate launch operation sequence for the launch of SSLV-D2 EOS-07 mission at 9:18 hours today, that's 10th February 2023.
All stations to note, Mission Director has given authorization for launch.
So the mission director has given the authorization. So that means it's a go for the launch. The weather is looking good. The rocket is healthy. The range is supporting. That's what we want to hear.
Readiness of range,
Based on the
TTC,
authorization from
launch
Mission Director,
vehicle,
Vehicle
and
Director hereby
spacecraft.
authorizes to
The
initiate
automatic launch sequence
for the launch of
begins a module of
SSLV-D2
quick checks,
EOS-07
culminating in the onboard computers initiating the ignition command for the first stage of the
SHAR 1 and
rocket,
2, data loggers are on it, SHAR
and the
1 and 2
rocket
station.
will lift off. As you have seen, automatic launch sequence has been initiated.
This is looking good. Yes.
ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस शुरू हो
manly,
चुका है।
CV manly.
इसके पश्चात ऑन बोर्ड कंप्यूटर प्री प्रोग्राम तरीके से सभी तंत्रों की जांच कर प्रज्वलन का कमांड देगा।
So what he said was that the health checks by the onboard computer are going on, and once everything is as per the plan, it
अब हम
will.
प्रमोशन से 16 मिनट की दूरी पर
Minus 16 minutes.
Automatic launch sequence initiated for SSLV-D2 launch.
SDS servers activated. MC confirms reception of SHAR 1 and SHAR 2 data.
इस मिशन SSLV-D2 EOS-07 का मुख्य उद्देश्य कुछ इस प्रकार है। निम्न भूकक्षा में SSLV की अभिकल्पित निर्धार क्षमता का प्रदर्शन करना और EOS-07 उपग्रह तथा 2 सहयात्री उपग्रह Janus-1 और AzaadiSAT-2 को 450 किलोमीटर की वृत्ताकार कक्षा में स्थापित करना।
I hope this mission is gonna bring smiles to everyone's faces because this rocket itself is very much
SSLV launch
necessary.
vehicle एक लघु उपग्रह प्रमोचक यान है। इसकी क्षमता 10 से 500 केजी के नितभार को निचली कक्षा में स्थापित करने की है। इसमें बहुत सी मुख्य बातें हैं जो इसे अन्य प्रमोचक रॉकेटों से अलग बनाती हैं। यह लघु उपग्रहों को निचली कक्षा में स्थापित कर
this rocket is itself very unique, makes this rocket actually differentiates from every other rocket in the market right now because of its silent features, salient features.
The SSLV design has emphasized integration and test simplicity. It is an effective solution for those payloads that were hitherto launched as secondary payloads on medium launch vehicles. Small satellites have to ride share with bigger satellites or wait for a large enough group of small satellites going to a similar orbit. This results in small satellites being placed in suboptimal orbits or waiting for launch schedules to align with larger launches, resulting in launch waiting times. The SSLV is an effective solution for such payloads.
Yep, this is looking good, guys. I hope the wishes. Let's just wish the success for this launch by typing whatever we want to in the chat. Just give your best wishes because this is a cute, not tiny, but still a child rocket, and I hope we all hope this rocket actually goes into full successful orbit today. So let's just see the teaser video, which actually helps us to understand how this rocket was assembled. Thanks, Blues Traveler.
The Small Satellite Launch Vehicle, SSLV, is the latest launch vehicle designed and developed by ISRO to deliver single or multiple nano, micro and mini satellites up to 500 kilograms into 500 kilometer planar orbit. SSLV is a three-stage launch vehicle with all solid propulsion stages, and satellite insertion into the orbit is achieved through a liquid propulsion-based velocity trimming module. SSLV is 2 meters in diameter and a height of 34 meters with liftoff weight of around 120 tons. SSLV being the younger sibling of the legendary PSLV, GSLV and LVM-3 has inherited best of the qualities of these three. However, it also offers certain new technology elements considering the functional requirements of its job. 2 new solid motors, SS1 and SS3, are now added to ISRO's fleet of solid motors. SS1 motor is the 3rd largest solid booster of ISRO, while SS3 motor is a new composite upper stage solid motor. SSLV vehicle is designed as a ready-to-transfer vehicle with standard interfaces for end-to-end industrial production. This flight of SSLV-D2 shall demonstrate the design payload capability of the vehicle in low Earth orbit as well as multi-orbit launching capability through restart of velocity trimming module. SSLV provides low-cost access to space with a flexibility in accommodating multiple satellites. It also offers low turnaround time, launch-on-demand feasibility, minimal launch infrastructure requirements. Small Satellite Launch Vehicle SSLV is deemed as the next workhorse rocket from ISRO, and it is expected to play a major role in the commercial small satellite launch services.
Wow, just this was the best teaser video which ISRO has ever made. They are improving their PR and focusing on the on this stuff. Just whoa, this is a nice touch, National bird of India, peacock.
अभी अभी आपने SSLV D2 का कर्टन रेजर वीडियो देखा.
That was something. Okay. T
आपको
minus 10 minutes
प्रमोचक
remaining,
रॉकेट
guys.
SSLV D2 के बारे में कुछ जानकारी उपलब्ध करा देते हैं. SS1
minus 10 minutes.
यह प्रमोचक रॉकेट SSLV का प्रथम चरण है. वैसे तो SSLV त्रिचरणीय यान है. उसका प्रथम चरण SS1 है और इसके तीनों चरण SSLV के तीनों चरण ठोस नोदक पर आधारित चरण हैं. प्रथम
Welcome
चरण
Mars
SS1
2028.
87 टन के ठोस नोदक से बना हुआ है. इसका व्यास 2 मीटर.
He's
तथा
talking about the specs of the rocket, which I have already discussed. So yeah,
और कुल 2600 किलो न्यूटन का निर्वात प्रणोद उत्पन्न करने की क्षमता रखता है. द्वितीय चरण को SS2 कहा जाता है. यह भी ठोस नोदक पर आधारित चरण है जो कि PSLV के HPS3 चरण का व्युत्पन्न चरण है. SS2 और SS3 क्रमशः 7.7 तथा 4.5 टन के ठोस नोदक वाले चरण हैं. SS2 और SS3 के बाद ऊपर की ओर पेलोड फेयरिंग और पेलोड फेयरिंग के अंदर मल्टी पेलोड अडेप्टर है जहां उपग्रहों को रॉकेट के साथ संयोजित किया जाता है. इस यान का एक मुख्य तंत्र VTM है जो कि वेलोसिटी ट्रिमिंग मॉड्यूल कहलाता है, जो उपग्रहों को अंतःक्षेपण से पहले निश्चित गति तथा अभिवृत्ति प्रदान करेगा.
so we are T minus 8 minutes 25 seconds remaining. Everything is looking good, and you can see, although the exposure is bad, but still they have improved their qualities, and occasionally you will see the faces of the in the mission control room also. But I am very happy to see that this time most of the views are of the rocket and not the people sitting inside. So they are improving bit by bit, which is very good in fact.
And the launch vehicle lifts off. The nominal action time of SS1 is 115 seconds. The second stage, SS2, ignites at 123.7 seconds into the flight. And the first stage separates from the ongoing launch vehicle 400 milliseconds later. This is called hot separation, wherein an upper stage ignites before the separation of a lower stage.
And can anyone tell me why is that? Why that? Why do they do that?
The rocket would have crossed 100 kilometers altitude, and closed loop guidance is initiated at 131 seconds into the flight.
This is also why they don't initiate this closed loop guidance in the initial phase of the flight.
49 kilometers at 158 seconds into the flight.
Okay, so this is inside the, so this is kind of like a fish ball of, and you can see the people going outside now. That was Rifat.
Having carried the rocket
Okay.
to 281 kilometers altitude and 341
So,
kilometers downrange.
talking about why do they do it, it's a different approach for the Soviets and this one, but let me talk about this rocket. So the hot staging is done in this because this is a SRB, okay, and there is no, what should I say, the separation motors in it. So SRB has this very bad thing which is known as trail of thrust, which means the proper thrust, the actual thrust is gone, but there is still some grains of solids which are still burning and providing a little bit of thrust. But you don't want that, so you just ditch your first stage and then move on with the second stage. But since that trail of thrust is still there, it can just come slowly and just hit the second stage and damage its components. And that is the reason why it is ignited first. The second stage is ignited first and then it is separated, so that the trail of thrust of the first stage does not interfere with the working of the second stage. Oh, so thank you so much, Tom, for that 199. Do you believe in UFOs? Have you seen one? No. I don't believe in UFOs. I have not seen one.
95
And I
seconds
guess
later,
this
Janus-1
UFO kind of
separation
thing
takes
is, what
20
should I say,
seconds
local to
thereafter,
US.
AzaadiSAT-2 separates.
I guess aliens love to visit US, right?
We are about 5 minutes from the launch.
minus 5 minutes.
ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस सुचारू रूप से जारी है। अब हम 5 मिनट की दूरी पर हैं प्रमोशन
Control
से।
authority, talking about the control authority, dude, it has a gimbal in it. So the first stage has gimbal in it. So that's how the control authority is established there.
इसमें बूस्टर सेगमेंट्स को ड्राई जॉइंट की मदद से एकीकृत किया गया है। पायरो सर्किट्स को और सरल बनाया गया है। सेपरेशन सिस्टम को मॉड्यूलर बनाया गया है ताकि इसका उत्पादन सरल तथा कम समय में किया जा सके। अनेक उपग्रहों के समावेश के लिए मल्टी पेलोड एडेप्टर लगे हुए हैं। नेविगेशन विद इंडियन कॉन्स्टलेशन नाविक के साथ मैम सेंसर का उपयोग नेविगेशन गाइडेंस और कंट्रोल के लिए किया जा रहा है। डिजिटल कंट्रोल सिस्टम का प्रयोग कर दिशा नियंत्रण तथा संशोधन तंत्र लगाए गए हैं। इसमें पायरो इग्निशन के लिए सुपर कैपेसिटर का
joined in, guys, this is the second launch of the SSLV. The first launch resulted in a failure because of the sensors going crazy mid-flight, which caused the mission to go into salvage mode. So they have corrected that this time. Otherwise, in the previous mission itself, there was no actual technical difficulty. So it would have made into the orbit. So let's hope this time I'm like 90% sure this would make to the orbit. So T minus 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Everything is looking good. And whoa, I am becoming excited now. Yeah, that bird is not gonna look good after the launch though. You can see the area is all covered with forest. So there are a lot of birds and kind of animals out there. So T minus under 3 minutes remaining. We can see the Space Kids India guys going out to the
You're watching the
view
visuals
gallery
from the launch pad.
It's looking amazing, and I am telling you, this would look even amazing, even good when it actually launches.
SSLV D1 D2 सुसज्ज है प्रथम प्रमोशन मंच पे अपने प्रमोशन के लिए।
This is finally happening. Whoa, after so long, SSLV is gonna launch and hopefully make it to the orbit this time.
मौसम पूरी तरह अनुकूल, वायु गति भी पूरी तरह अनुकूल है प्रमोशन के लिए।
2 minutes.
The weather is fully supporting.
ATC तथा मौसम विभाग से अनुमति ली जा चुकी है
Range
प्रमोशन
is
के लिए।
good.
अब हम उड़ान से 1.5 मिनट की दूरी पर
1 hour 30 minutes left. So
SS1 stage
Chinese launch many rockets, Tom, but they don't stream those rockets. So most of the time, what I found, where I also have like sources, they give me the links from their Chinese YouTube. I'll try to stream that to you, and that too from the unofficial sources. So not so sure how many would I be able to stream, but
About 1 minute remaining.
yeah, that is. So T minus 1 minute, guys. Everything is looking good.
Minus
Finally,
50 seconds.
it's happening. T minus 50 seconds.
Minus 50 seconds.
All sequences armed.
Minus 45 seconds. Minus 40 seconds. Minus
30 seconds remaining, guys.
Minus 30 seconds.
Oh,
Real-time programs activated.
Minus 25 seconds.
T minus 20.
minus 20
19,
seconds,
18, 17, 16, 15,
minus 15,
14, 13, 12, 11, 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ignition and lift
Beautiful
off.
launch of SSLV-D2 EOS-07
Whoa.
5
on a
seconds.
bright sunny morning.
Just look at that.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन SSLV D2 प्रोमोचकियान का अपनी उद्दिष्ट
Whoa.
कक्षा की ओर SSLV D2 EOS-07 मिशन
Everything is looking nominal right
We
now.
have confirmation from the Range Operations Director of the normal performance of Stage 1, which means close to 2,600 kilonewtons thrust. 87 tons of solid propellant burns for 115 seconds.
Wow. Just wow.
भारत के आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव को दर्शाता भारत का एक और महत्वपूर्ण मिशन दिन के उजाले में दूर तक दिखाई दे रहा है बहुत से
You know
दर्शक
what?
आंखों
I
देखा
can
अनुभव लेने यहाँ
also,
उपस्थित
hopefully this is also visible from my home, but
अविस्मरणीय अनुभव होता है
uh,
की धड़कनें
I won't go out and see. Everything is
Apart from
looking
the
good.
launch-based radars, telemetry and tracking stations at SHAR, Bangalore, Trivandrum are currently tracking.
जैसे जैसे यान ऊपर जा रहा है हम देख रहे हैं इसके सभी तंत्र सामान्य निष्पादन कर रहे हैं और यान निर्धारित दिशा की ओर अपने आप को नियंत्रित करता हुआ आगे जा रहा है
The flex nozzle of stage is imparting the pitch and yaw control functions, whereas the roll control is by fin tip control.
Hey, there you go, the graph which we want to see. So you can see there is a little bit of deviation from the actual, you
यान
know,
अपेक्षित
path.
पथ का
But still,
अनुकरण करता हुआ
that will be taken care of in the closed loop guidance. It is still working
On
on
your TV
the
screens,
open
simulation
loop
of
one.
the flight. The separation of SS1 will follow the ignition of
Just 2
second
minutes.
stage.
कुछ ही क्षणों में द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन हो प्रथम चरण को पृथक कर दिया जाएगा
And we have the stage.
separated,
First stage separation.
separated.
द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है और प्रथम चरण को सफलतापूर्वक पृथक कर दिया गया है
There you go, guys.
The second
Can see
stage of the
that.
rocket has commenced its operation and the first stage has been
Stage
separated.
performance normal.
Second stage is
Burn
working.
time for SS2 is 124 seconds.
Now the fairings would separate. The next event is the fairing separation.
This rocket
There you
stage with
go.
carbon fiber motor
Separated.
case
Payload fairing separation is also a big event
contains
Especially in ISRO.
7.7 tons of HTPB based solid propellant.
because they have faced
ऊष्मा
a
कवच को
failure.
पृथक कर दिया गया है अब हम प्रमोचन से 177 सेकंड की दूरी
Previously,
पर आ चुके हैं
wherein the payload fairing did not open in the one of the PSLV launches. So this looks good.
2.6 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड
Yeah, it's indeed very fast. You can see it's already in
Closed loop.
space.
Initiated and the payload fairing has
Normal.
SS2 चरण का प्रज्वलन पूर्ण होने के पश्चात 140 सेकंड का कोस्ट फेज शुरू होगा इस कोस्ट फेज
Okay,
में बिना
no,
किसी प्रज्वलन
please.
के प्राप्त संवेग से यान 423 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई प्राप्त करेगा
Don't look at that yellow line, okay? So let me
SHAR,
tell you.
Bangalore continue
So
to track.
there is
Trivandrum and
yellow
Port Blair-
line, there is green line, and there is red line. So yellow line is nothing but radar tracking. Green line is the actual parameters coming in from the rocket itself, and the red line is the desired path that the rocket should take. So the radar tracking can mess up sometimes, but not the actual one. So if the green one is looking good, then
समाप्त हो गया
it's
है
good.
तथा कोस्ट फेज जारी है
Now the coast phase is going to happen. So this coast phase is actually very much necessary, as I said.
Combined hosting and performance is normal.
The trail of thrust is a problem with the solid rocket. So make sure that it is not there and we get the most out of the rocket in space. We let it stay and let the trail of thrust also burn, and then we separate at some time, which you will see soon, for it to finally work.
This is to altitude meters per second velocity.
वर्तमान में शार, बेंगलोर, त्रिवेंद्रम तथा पोर्ट ब्लेयर स्थित भू ट्रैकिंग स्टेशंस यान कर ट्रैकिंग कर हम तक आंकड़े उपलब्ध करा
You can see the range is increasing, and the altitude is also increasing.
ऐसे नेतभारों का प्रयोग कर रहा है जो कि माइक्रो सैटेलाइट बस से सुसंगत और भावी उपग्रहों के लिए उपयोगी नवीन तकनीकों का प्रदर्शन करेंगे। इसमें मिलीमीटर वेव ह्यूमिडिटी साउंडर तथा स्पेक्ट्रम मॉनिटरिंग जैसे पेलोड लगे हुए हैं। EOS-7 का कुल भार 156 kg है तथा इसका कार्यकाल 1 साल का निर्धारित किया गया है।
Aditya L1 is going to launch in this year itself.
कुछ ही क्षणों में द्वितीय चरण को यान से पृथक कर दिया जाएगा तथा तृतीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू होगा।
To this coasting, oh, there you go, guys. Stage has been separated, and we should see. There you go. Stage has ignited.
Commenced its operation.
जी हाँ, तृतीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है। यह भी करीब 104 सेकंड तक चलकर शांत हो जाएगा। उसके बाद कोस्ट फेज की शुरुआत होगी। तृतीय चरण का प्रज्वलन सामान्य।
HTPB based solid propellant with a loading of 4.5 tons produces a vacuum thrust of 160 kilonewtons.
It is thrusting and giving a good vibes here.
Seconds.
Live long and prosper. Thank you so much, Tom. Really appreciate it. And yes, hopefully this will live longer to detach all those satellites successfully.
ऊंचाई तथा 7.24 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड की सापेक्ष गति प्राप्त कर चुके होंगे।
Okay, now was the time when the last time it did not made it to the orbit, but it's looking good this time. Hopefully everything would be as per the plan.
प्रमोशन से यान की ऊंचाई 453 किलोमीटर तथा सापेक्ष गति 6.9 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड।
You can see everyone is excited in the mission control room. This is a different mission control room, not that one, but yeah.
Third stage action completed.
Third stage action is completed and
चरण का प्रज्वलन काल समाप्त हो चुका है।
Okay, now the
तथा कोस्ट फेज जारी है।
Hopefully the fourth stage should ignite now.
Presently, the third stage has completed its operation,
Performance normal.
but has not
That's
yet
what we
been
want to hear.
separated. It is a coast phase along with the spent stage mass, velocity trimming module, and the satellites. The duration of coast phase is designed according to the mission requirements, considering the altitude to be reached and velocity to be attained at the time of injection. In the meantime, let me tell you about the satellites taking a ride in this mission. The primary satellite for this mission, EOS-07, is a microsatellite weighing 156 kg, accommodating new technology payloads, millimeter wave humidity sounder, and spectrum monitoring payload. These new technologies, when proven, will be implemented in future operational satellites. The co-passenger satellite Janus-1 from USA is a technology demonstrator smart satellite mission based on Antares software platform. Janus-1 demonstrates modular bus and multi-tenant payloads with onboard edge computing programmable smart EPS, SX band SDR,
vehicle performance normal,
secure TNC,
Yeah.
and
All right.
digital twinning with SaaS
Please tell
platform.
me it would be all good.
AzaadiSAT-2 is a satellite made by Space.
So the radar tracking has been stopped. Now only the vehicle tracking can be seen and everything is looking good.
In space and demonstrate expandable satellite structure.
अभी यान का कोस्ट फेज जारी है। यान पूरी तरीके से निर्धारित पथ का अनुकरण करता हुआ अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ रहा है। इस यान में आजादी सैट एक क्यूब सेट है जिसका भार 8 केजी है। इसे 75 फेम्टो एक्सपेरिमेंट्स के लिए विभिन्न नित भार हैं। इन नित भारों को स्पेस किड्स इंडिया द्वारा एकीकृत किया गया है। इसमें UHF, VHF फ्रीक्वेंसी बैंड ट्रांसपॉन्डर्स लगे हुए हैं जो कि ध्वनि तथा डेटा दोनों के प्रेषण में सक्षम हैं।
And we have separation. What about the ignition?
चरण को
Please ignite.
कर दिया गया है।
And we have ignition.
यह
Wow.
अंतिम तंत्र वेलोसिटी ट्रिमिंग मॉड्यूल यह यान को अंतिम अभिवृत्ति तथा गति
You
प्रदान
can see the
करेगा।
excitement.
The velocity trimming module has ignited and is currently imparting correct orbital parameters for the spacecraft.
सर्वप्रथम हम देखेंगे EOS-7 का अंतःक्षेपण।
velocity trimming module thrust cutoff,
Yes, that's what we want.
Satellite injection is the next awaited event.
Now the satellite separation should happen.
satellite injection conditions are achieved,
Wow!
अंतःक्षेपण की
Finally.
स्थितियां प्राप्त की जा चुकी हैं। कुछ ही क्षणों में EOS-7 का अंतःक्षेपण निर्धारित कक्षा में किया जाएगा।
The nominal time of 785 seconds past the launch is scheduled for the prime satellite EOS-07 for injection.
I can't still believe that
निर्धारित क्रमानुसार EOS-7
it is
प्रथम
successful.
अंतःक्षेपित होगा।
It's
उसके
successful
बाद
for me
Janus-1,
at least.
फिर अंत में AzaadiSAT-2।
You can see actually they have increased the quality in their videos also, the onboard cameras. Actually, you know, this animation which you are seeing is actually in real time itself. So, which means it is taking the parameters from the rocket to make the animation. So, whatever you are seeing is actually happening in the space. And we have separation.
मुख्य उपग्रह EOS-7 का सफलतापूर्वक अंतःक्षेपण कर दिया गया है।
There we have the confirmation of the prime satellite EOS-07 separating from the launch vehicle.
They have definitely improved onboard cameras. It was really bad previously, but yeah, this is looking
As
good.
per the mission objectives, 2 more satellites awaiting their separation.
Although they need to work on the frame rate. Its frame rate is not is actually not because of the camera, but because of the download speed. So the network problem is there actually. You can see the cuts of the
नए
VTM.
प्रमोचक यान का प्रदर्शन करता हुआ SSLV-D2
It does not have any engine, which you can see, because VTM does not feature any engine. It has only
Janus-1,
thrusters. 8 thrusters.
22.5 kg satellite from USA, next to be separated.
You can see how this VTM is trying so hard. It's so cute looking also, right? To move into the correct attitude
अभिवृत्ति
for
प्राप्त करता हुआ यान
separation.
15 minutes.
And
Janus-1 satellite
we
separated.
have this separation for Janus-1.
Janus-1 के अंतःक्षेपण की पुष्टि की जा चुकी है.
Oh,
इसे
just one more
सफलतापूर्वक
satellite is left.
उसके निर्धारित कक्षा में स्थापित किया जा चुका है.
Janus-1 has also been separated.
And
And
AzaadiSAT
here we have
satellite separated.
AzaadiSAT-2 separation also.
SSLV-D2 EOS-07 Mission accomplished.
Finally,
Handing over to Mission Director.
it is fully
सभी को बहुत
successful,
शुभकामनाएं.
guys.
मिशन इस तरीके से पूरा हुआ.
Whoa.
SSLV-D2 EOS-07 mission has been fully accomplished.
With the successful launch of SSLV-D2 EOS-07 mission, ISRO now has a new credible member in its launch vehicle family. Congratulations to Team ISRO. We are signing off from the commentary box. Do continue to join us for the address by Secretary TOS Chairman ISRO.
You will see him
Namaskar.
talk about this mission, and it was indeed a successful mission, and hopefully from now on the SSLV can take over the small sat market, because it is very cheap, very reliable, as well as has a quick turnaround time. Hopefully they can build on this. Let's hear the chairman of ISRO. What does he want to say?
Satellite director. Ravi.
I've actually met him also. He is a very humble guy.
So congratulations, the space community of India. So we have a new launch vehicle, small satellite launch vehicle SSLV. In its second attempt today, SSLV-D2 has placed the EOS-07 satellite in its intended orbit very accurately. Along with the EOS-07, two more satellites were also placed in the required orbit, Janus-1 through NSIL and from the Antares, and AzaadiSAT through InSpace.
Yes, Mars 2028.
Realized by the space kids. So congratulations to all three satellite teams for making the satellites as well as placing in the right orbit. And I wish all the very best to the rest of the operations of the satellite for accomplishing their mission goals. Probably all of you are aware that SSLV had its maiden flight, SSLV-D1, and we had a narrow miss of placing the satellite in the orbit because of a shortfall in velocity. And I'm very happy to report that we have analyzed the problems faced in the SSLV-D1, identified the corrective actions, implemented in a very fast pace, qualified all of those new systems, went through large amount of simulations and studies to ensure that the vehicle will become success this time. And I'm very happy to see that the really intended model of the vehicle has been executed in reality in flight. So we have also a good news that the orbit achieved by the vehicle today, using its very novel, cost-effective and very innovative guidance and navigation system, is exceedingly good.
Wow.
We were targeting to put it in a 450-kilometer orbit. We have very, very close apogee and perigee, as well as inclination is very, very small, error only. And this also shows that the new model of the vehicle navigation system and electronics that we incorporate in SSLV is doing very well. Before I speak further, I would like to introduce very important people who have worked behind the scenes to make this mission success. First and foremost is the mission director of SSLV, Sri S. Vinod, who is a veteran of the PSLV era, who has taken this task of developing this vehicle along with a small team of people. I think they have toiled for the first mission as well as second mission. Now I will hand over to him to talk about the vehicle, and also then to the project director of the satellite, EOS-07, Sri Ravichandra Babu, will speak after that. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Let me first say good morning, ISRO, and good morning, India. It's a momentous occasion for us. It's a proud occasion for ISRO that we have now a new launch vehicle to be offered to the launch vehicle community. It all began in 2018, a journey which started in 2018 had reached its intended destination today. The journey which has traversed through its nascent phase of configuration, realization, fabrication, testing, analysis, and finally it even had to overcome the COVID phase. It reached the launch pad last year, and we had the maiden flight in August, 7th August. As mentioned by Chairman, we had a small anomaly observed in that, and we couldn't put the satellites in the intended orbit. But detailed analysis further by a number of teams was carried out, and we were able to pinpoint the problem in the system, and we had to overcome that. And I would like to say that we overcame that, and in the shortest period of 5 months, we have come back. In the shortest period of 5 months, we had to realize 5 new hardwares, a new separation system. In addition to that, we have to make modification to the navigation and the guidance scheme, and also carry out a lot of testing to make the system robust. Today, we could accomplish with this launch the laid objective of SSLV, that's to have a low-cost, low turnaround time satellite which can offer launch on demand. This would not have been possible but for the effort of a number of people. I think the entire ISRO has worked for us. The launch vehicle team in VSSC, the navigation team in IASU, the propulsion team in liquid propulsion team in LPSC. We had the range team, and also the ISTRAC team, and also the satellite team jiving with us to realize this happen. I thank all of them for the tremendous support they have offered to us. And of course, we derive our confidence from our review mechanism. There have been a lot of review mechanism, and starting from the design review, the configuration review, then the post-flight review, the post-test analysis, all those things, the review mechanism has helped us. And I today acknowledge the rigorous review conducted by all the review committee and thank them for the support. I also thank the management which had shown confidence in the relatively new small team to realize this new launch vehicle for ISRO in the shortest period which is possible. Especially our chairman, Sri Somnath, who is the main architect of the vehicle, and he is considered as the system engineer for this. And he has been the main support for us, always helping out in all the conditions, and so that we are able to resolve all our issues and come back on track. Thank you very much, sir, for the support you have offered to us. I would like to thank the satellite team also led by Sri Ravichandra Babu. They also made the satellite in the shortest possible time with innovative technology, and they were able to jive with our launch. And I would also thank the confidence shown by ENSIL and InSpace for assigning 2 more passenger payload to us in the development phase itself. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the family members of ISRO for the support and the motivation they give to us, which makes us to do things like this. And on a personal note, I would like to thank my wife, Smita, who also helped me in my situation of a medical emergency for the past 3 months. She has been supporting me mentally and physically. So as a last, I would say that we would be coming back soon with the next launch of SSLV to make ISRO as well as the nation proud. Jai Hind.
Respected Chairman ISRO, Center Directors, all the dignitaries present online and offline, all my senior colleagues and friends, very good morning to all. EOS-07 satellite, it's really unique in terms of the requirement to the completion of satellite and handing over to vehicle. All happened in a so fast track mode. Within 4 to 5 months, we have realized the complete thing. In fact, the requirements has come as early as September 22, where the ongoing mission was already going on, but the teams were common to both. Still, we have assimilated all the configuration essentials required, and we were looking for best of the payloads to make an opportunity to fly in this mission. Keeping the heritage systems of mainframe intact without changing much, we were looking for the payloads. SAC Ahmedabad has come out with a few payloads. We have done a thorough analysis, system level analysis, and finally we could identify 2 of the best payloads which are giving very good input for the future operational missions. So in addition to that, 2 more payloads got added. All the onboard experiments were unique in its nature, and these are going to be really fruitful in terms of giving inputs for the future operational missions, in terms of radar monitoring, the signal monitoring from the aircrafts, then the humidity profile generation, S-band interference with terrestrial network, and even one of the instrument gives best advantage for the acceleration in the next SpaceX mission also. Really, it wouldn't have been possible without the involvement of the hard work of all the team members and the review committees. Though it was in a fast track mode, we have not turned any stone unturned for the reviews purpose also, and the performance is seen today. And the satellite is already in orbit. I thank SSLV team for putting it in the right orbit, and already the mission team has taken over the mantle. Solar panels have deployed, and the power generation has started, and the initiation of the procedures to stabilize the satellite is on, and we will complete the mission life with the best performance. Thank you one and all. Jai Hind.
Thank you. What you are seeing just behind me are the people who are the core team members of SSLV. So they are a very small team. Along with the mission director, they made the entire vehicle realization through the center's support. Now, being a developmental launch, I have privilege to request some of the very important leaders in this community who have been working to make both the satellite and the launch vehicle ready for this mission. So I would like to call first the Launch Authorization Board Chairman, Director of SDSC SHAR Rajarajan, followed by Director of LPSC, the Management Council Chair of the Space Transportation System, Director of ESSC, the Center Director of the Launch Vehicle Development, and the Director of URSC, who is a Project Management Council Chair of the Space Infrastructure, which is developing all the satellites, Director of the Space Application Center, who is a Chair of the Project Management Council of the application side, and also who developed the payloads for this EOS-07, and Director of IASU, who made this novel inertial system for this SSLV. So over to you.
Yeah, very good morning to the entire space community and all those who are seeing this historical launch. Thanks to Chairman ISRO, Secretary Department Space, and our mentors. It seems that ISRO has one more kid in its stable to put its canvas, to draw its canvas into space. I think ISRO has delivered a smart kit to put, and today I was remarking that the weather is so benign, not even a single speck of clouds or this one, ready to put its canvas on so that this smart kit can draw its picture and painting and put the satellites in orbit. I thank the entire community for putting such an effort to come back and look at all the aspects, including the realization of the hardware, production, assembly. Actually, I will say, the project team is very light on its feet. There is no inertia in the project, and there is actually, I didn't see even a DRM is actually happening on the shop floor to really make it fast in a faster time in the launch campaign activities and do the launch. I wish them all the best in the coming launches, and let us have very successful launch as we have multiple launches to come. And at SDSC SHAR, we are all ready to receive all the satellite and launch vehicles to go ahead with the launch campaign. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Very good morning to all of you. The SSLV is the sixth launch vehicle developed by ISRO, and today's successful accomplishment of this launch vehicle, placing the EOS-07 satellite and two more micro satellites, is a major achievement for the country and a major proud moment for the ISRO community. After the small setback, the team ISRO has worked meticulously well through a thorough review process, and we have come back and we have demonstrated the capability of this vehicle. Today, you would have seen the performance of all the vehicle systems were as expected and as predicted, including the liquid propulsion velocity trimming module performance. On this occasion, let me congratulate and compliment each and every ISRO team members, the launch vehicle community, satellite community, payload community, all the team members for the wonderful job what is done. This accomplishment is because of the very systematic and sincere hard work of each and every ISRO team members and the system what we are having, meticulous review system what we are having. On this occasion, once again, let me compliment and congratulate each and every one of you. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Very good morning, India. First of all, let me congratulate the entire ISRO centers for this excellent success after the setback we had in a few months back. Yes, it is doubly sweeter now because this success is after that failure. Though the vehicle system performed well in the first mission, there was a small glitch where during the second stage, there was the vehicle axial dynamics got excited and thereby leading to a salvage action. The mission could not be, the satellite could not be injected into orbit. And this for a few months, we have been working hard to make it, all the systems perform as expected, and today we have the results. And I want to congratulate the entire team, especially the team from the small team, as I was introduced here, the SSLV team. We have many more exciting missions now. We are going to have, so shortly the PSLV will be there, C-55, next. And many more exciting missions are there. Once again, I congratulate the entire team. Thank you very much.
Good morning. What an uplifting start for the year 2023. What else we can ask for, where this year, with the successful launch of SSLV-D2 and the EOS-07 mission, ISRO and India is in for a very exciting time for the next 12 months. And this has been made possible by both the project teams of the SSLV and the satellite team, who have inspired not only themselves, but also inspired the rest of the teams. The teams with their performance inspiring the leadership inspiring the team with exciting task. That is what we have witnessed today. All the very best for the SSLV team for bringing in a new launch vehicle to our stable. The work at the Satellite Center and the Operations Center will continue now. As has been already mentioned by the project director EOS-07, the satellite is in good health and it is being stabilized in preparation for operation of a very exciting 3 new payloads. We look forward to a long life, longer than the projected 1-year life for this mission, because the injection of the satellite is very precise. So whatever fuel we had accounted for correcting the injection orbit will now be utilized for extending the life of the satellite. Thank you very much for both the project teams, SSLV as well as the EOS-07, for delivering as promised. Wish you all the very best. Jai Hind.
Good morning, everybody. At the outset, let me congratulate ISRO community led by our dear chairman, Mr. Somnath, and all the other center directors and all others who have contributed to this mission. And I also congratulate the SSLV team, the vehicle team, the satellite team, as well as the payload team for excellent performance during this mission. And nothing is powerful as the idea whose time has come. So launch on demand is going to be the reality now for the ISRO community as well as the country. And I congratulate the satellite as well as the payload team for excellent contributions in form of these two payloads which we have put in EOS-07, that is microwave humidity sounder, as well as the spectrum monitoring payload, which will go a long way as a precursor to future full-fledged mission related to sounder mission as well as the spectrum monitoring payloads for our future satellites. So once again, I congratulate all of you. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. On this happy occasion, let me congratulate all ISRO colleagues who have, as well as the industry who have contributed in realizing this. Few months back, with them setback, we have gone back and studied and extensively so that no stone is left unturned, so that we could today we can have a very perfect launch. So here there are two very important aspects. The vehicle, when we talk about integration of things over months or weeks or months together, here it is a matter of 36 hours. The team could integrate, test and declare that it is ready to launch. So that is a very great achievement. So now the time is money. So therefore, that's the cost, that aspect of what we are looking at. And again, on a personal or our navigation area, we are able to, as the chairman mentioned, we are able to come out with a very innovative, cost-effective solution. That is one of the low-cost sensor in our stable, but we could get almost the best performance what we could get today. So I am really very happy that we are able to achieve the highest performance with the lowest type of cost as well as the innovative technologies. So let me congratulate again the vehicle team, as well as for the spacecraft also. Within the short time, the inertial actuators as well as the reference systems could be made ready so that the spacecraft also is able to meet the time schedule what we had targeted. And now today I am happy that the performance of the spacecraft also is excellent, and I wish the spacecraft for its intended purpose for more duration, and we have given really a very good orbit, so that translates into more life of the spacecraft too. So congratulations to all of you again. Thank you. Jai Hind.
So thank you once again, all the team members. Vehicle director. Yes. So before we conclude today's launch program, let me also develop on a few more points. Currently, we are preparing the next launch of GSLV Mark III, the LVM-3 mission, leading to the launch of OneWeb India 2 36 satellites. So we are preparing that launch. This launch will take place by around March middle. Then today, immediately after this launch, we are preparing, commencing the launch campaign of PSLV C55 launch. This launch is for NSIL, for a commercial launch to be done by most probably by the end of March. So the launch campaign will commence today by the placing of the rocket at the launch pedestal in a new facility that is going to be used this time. So these are two important events happening. And we are also preparing parallelly for the landing demonstration of the reusable launch vehicle. Currently the teams are at the landing site at Chitradurga. We are hoping that in few days of time everything will be all right. The initial preparations will be all right, and we'll be able to do the landing demonstration. This year is going to be filled with a lot of new developments and activities, specifically leading to the Gaganyaan program. and we are hoping to have the test flight, test vehicle missions of showing abort and recovery capability of the crew module to be demonstrated in one mission today, and also followed by one more launch this year itself, and also for trying for the unmanned mission if these two missions go very well. We also have launches of GSLV for launching the NAVIC series of new series of NAVIC satellites using the GSLV. And we are hoping that we will be able to have that launch and also a repeat launch of GSLV prior to the launch of NISR, which is scheduled by the end of this year. I also want to tell you that there are many more launches of PSLV scheduled. I am not going into the details of each of them today for lack of time and the brevity of my speech. So let me congratulate once again the entire ISRO community for the wonderful work that you have done. This year, 2023, this is the inaugural launch, and I think that this will set the tune for the rest of those activities that are going to happen. Congratulations once again, and also for all those satellite teams from NSIL who are come on commercial basis, and also the AzaadiSAT who came on board second time, and they are not missed. They are like SSLV only, so they have become successful in this attempt. So congratulations for all those girl children who have worked to make this small satellite come out very well. Congratulations to all of the entire team of ISRO for making this day beautiful and successful, for setting the tune for what ISRO is going to take forward. Thank you so much. All the very best to you.
That is definitely something. We got to know some great things about this year's in ISRO's portfolio, right? So they will be, this year should be a busy year for ISRO. They have been lagging behind a lot because of ISRO, because of COVID. So hopefully this year they will make up for all the launches and all the things. So we are having as he said, we are having the GSLV Mark III launch next, the launching the OneWeb satellites, which would be amazing, because GSLV does not launch enough, and it's a very underrated rocket. So I am hopeful that that mission will also be successful. It has already completed one of the missions of the OneWeb, and that was successful. So yeah. So all right, guys, I hope you liked the stream. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And now I should leave because I have work to do. So I will meet you again with another launch. Until then, this is Priyanshu Rohila. You just saw Rocket Gyan. Stay safe, stay healthy, and